like I was saying, make it be more explosive and to have more transitions. Like we've seen it in other games where there aren't team ups per se, but they have it in Injustice, and Mortal Kombat is known for it, but it's in Injustice, Fighters, what else? It was in certain elements of Killer Instinct, and it's in the new Mortal Kombat 11. I've seen gameplay footage where they're gonna bring back the stage elements where you get to knock them into other places, and I just think because this game is not a bad game like everybody thought it was gonna be. Although the first year of it being out, it failed because the lack of the roster, the there was a lot of characters that people weren't aware of. Like people don't really know who Captain Marvel is. And although I did want, some more female characters in the game, and I'm satisfied about that, but I just thought, it was, poorly executed. And why it ultimately failed is because the roster was very lackluster. Like I said in the previous videos, there's no X-Men characters. And then you got, some characters like such as boss battles acting like said characters like Ultron Omega actually makes a reference to Wolverine and a bunch of other characters. And that's not right. Like cuz then it makes you want to play with the character that's not in the game, and it makes you appreciate them more. And although I like the fact that the air combos is easy to activate, allow it to be more activated when you can do a team aerial combo and switch out the characters. So like say you're in a pinch and two of your main partners is about to be knocked out and die. If you had a team aerial combo and allowed the character to be switched, this could save them a lot. And that was another reason why I liked the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 original and Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate. And that roster was unbelievable. You had Virgil, you had Frank West, you had um Galactus, you had who else did you have? You had, the people that was originally in the game, and you had um Astrath, the skeleton, not the skeleton, the octopus looking character. Um and then you had Jill, um you had a variety of people. And then you had new modes with the mission mode. Like there's a mode where you get to play as the character but in enhanced in cybernetics. And I like the fact that they had like a little mission mode where you get to level up the character. See, when you have stuff like that, that'll invest the player in wanting to play the game even more. And see, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite isn't really being played because it doesn't have a lot to offer. Although, the visuals and the graphics look great, a lot of things have been toned down and suffered ultimately at the sacrifice of it looking good. And granted, you don't always have to do that, but what you have to do is satisfy your customers on both ends or the player on both ends. Because look at how well Fighters is being received. that started out again. That started out a slow and low and weak roster, but the more and more characters were added onto it, the roster became bigger, and it allowed them to be played more in tournaments, and people can have their favorite characters on said team that they make, and they can have an anchor and a backup and a powerhouse, and like that was a good way to do it. And then having baby on the team will allow you to resurrect your fallen teammate and use their abilities and their assists. And like that allows them to be great. And that's what helps fighters be more successful. And essentially, it took a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom and Street Fighter elements and upgraded at 1,000-fold. And had Marvel vs. Capcom took all the elements that they had and put them in Infinite, that would make the game so much greater and a lot of people will play it more. And it kind of saddens me how nobody's playing it because um of what the game is left with. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. There's no more spots for them to add characters. So there's no more spots for them to add characters and fighters, but they still did it. And then they still added Master Roshi. They added Jiren. They added Broly, Dragon Ball Super Broly, and then they added Kakarot in his GT form. And so I think what they should do when they have a patch, update it, make the character roster expand a little bit so they can add more characters to it and characters that people and the fans want. I mean, come on, this game has so much potential. I hate to see it ultimately suffer and be on the back burner and use the everybody's favorite term non-canon. And that game is very canon because the graphics and the visuals are great. And the fact that they got the Infinity Stones in the game is a nice touch to it. So, those are my initial final thoughts on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, the fourth installment. Later down the line, I'm going to make a video on Marvel vs. Capcom's legacy as a whole and if it still holds up or not. So, as I always say, I'm Mysterious Jackson from the Mysterious Jackson Show, and stay tuned because you don't always know what's going to be happening on the show and you don't want to miss out. So, always remember to stay tuned. Hey there, guys! It's me, Goku! And I want to say to like and comment and subscribe to my good friend, Mr. Mysterious Jackson. Until then, subscribe and stay tough. Keep training. See you later. Bye, you guys.